But we're delighted to have you here, Roger, this evening, and look forward to your remarks. I'm always inspired, informed, and encouraged whenever I even talk to Roger on the telephone, so we're glad to have you.
Wow, so after that, I got to do good up here. It's a lot of pressure. So I want to start out with what's written behind me. Endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights. And I want to talk about what that means individually for people I know. So first, I want to say it means that that's written by your Creator in your heart.
Amen.
It's written in your heart. So to some extent, you might say the Bill of Rights is kind of plagiarized. Okay? It's in your heart. Knowing that, you have some responsibility. So I want to talk about those Mayflower folks. And this is an appropriate time of year to talk about that. Now imagine this. They came here, they were at sea for 65 days on the North Atlantic. It was cold, it was miserable. Some of them were dying, they were sick, they were hungry. They hadn't seen land for 64 days when they finally saw Cape Cod and landed in Provincetown. And then they couldn't stay there. They had to find somewhere else. It was November, it was New England, it was miserable. And they decided on Plymouth. And some of them continued to live on the ship, while another group started to build the first common house, and another group hunted, because if they didn't hunt, they wouldn't live. Listen, folks, this is tough. This is tough. So, why did they do that? Well, for one reason, they couldn't turn around, because it would be 65 days back across the North Atlantic. Weren't going to do that. But they not only persevered, they succeeded. Why? What sustained them? Why did they come here? Why did they go through this? First Amendment. Pretty much. First Amendment. Right? First Amendment. What did they have? They had themselves. They had their families. They had their community. And they had their faith. And we know that community was built on faith because when you look at the Mayflower Compact, you will find that the first sentence is, "In the name of God, Amen." And so they started to build a nation. And in the next 150 years, they and those who came on the ships after them built the second largest and most powerful economy in the world. 150 years. That, my friends, is fast. That's huge. That's blossoming. And why did it happen? Because there was a group of people who were able to express their free will, their unalienable rights, without government interference. It's just as simple as that. That's what free markets are. That's what they did. Now, they were virtuous and moral people, and they talked about living a righteous life. A righteous life. That's a Ten Commandment life. That's a New Testament life. That's what they meant. You don't have to be a Christian to study Christianity. You don't have to be a Christian to know Christian principles. But those are the principles that founded that colony. So 150 years went by, hard work. And they came to a point where they said, wait a minute, things aren't going right. We got too much government interference, and I want to read you some of the things they objected to, and I want you to ask yourself, does this ring a bell? He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither a swarm of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. Amen. I love that one. Thomas Jefferson was a farmer. Now, what swarm of what eats out a farmer's substance? And rats. And so Tommy said to the King of England, "You're a rat." But he said it eloquently. Right? He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretended legislation. Pretended legislation. That's the executive changing a law without constitutional authority. That would be foreign to our Constitution. And grievance number 17. Oh yeah, this one we all know. For imposing taxes on us without our consent. Has that happened recently? Recently. For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and alerting and altering fundamentally the forms of our government. Yeah, altering the forms of our government. For suspending our own legislature and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever.